Currently, so many companies are having problems and issues and just barely surviving. Some companies have not enough products, some companies have not enough employees, some companies are having to let go of employees because they don't have enough sales. And because of that, people are always trying to figure out different solutions and different shortcuts in order to stay afloat, make some profit, or just to be able to pay the employees. My name is Juad and welcome to my channel. Some of the shortcuts that people have been making is by furloughing employees. They furlough employees in order for them to have temporary pay from the government and to get some sort of relief from themselves, because the fact that they can't do enough sales in order to make enough profit to pay those employees. Some companies are actually taking out loans and grants, but those loans and grants don't necessarily mean that it's going to be a long-term solution. While other companies are just letting go of people, and they're also closing down shop because of the fact that they don't have enough money, because either they were already having problems or they started having problems. They started having problems because so many of them closed, because so many of them stopped doing business. So many of them needed to be able to have that income to be able to pay the monthly rental, to pay the electrical, pay the bills, pay the credit cards, pay the debt that they were already in. So some companies were just starting out, some companies were already established. And because of all of this, people are finding different ways to cut expenses, to increase profit, to get back up, to find solutions. So what are 3 solutions that you would think of? Comment down below and let me know. A few companies have been trying to find alternative sources of gas, alternative sources of electricity, alternative sources just to keep going. And some companies have been trying to cut costs, and they've been doing it by any means necessary. That means if they have to steal, they're going to steal. If they're going to have to sell less than what they actually have in order to increase the rate, they're doing that. Some companies are requiring employees to do more for the same amount. And with that, it's creating a gap. Because now employees are thinking about, hey, why don't we find out different solutions to cut costs? What are the 3 things that you would do to cut those costs? Would you start stealing from others, stealing from companies, stealing from wherever you needed to? Or would you put other people's lives in danger to do that? So considering so many companies are trying to cut down expenses, cut down waste, cut down on benefits, in order to help everyone out. Even executives are taking a reduced paycheck. Everybody's chipping in. Everybody's trying to make a difference. What are the 3 things that you would do in order to keep your job, or to be successful, or to make it out of this COVID-19 situation? Would you be willing to take a pay cut? Would you be willing to work even harder for less money or the same money? Would you be willing to cut shortcuts in the product or the services that you provide in order to make a little bit more, so that way you can do more in the long term? There are some companies who are doing that right now. There are some companies who are not properly disposing of waste. They are trying to dispose of it, but they're trying to dispose of it in their own backyard. They don't realize that just because they're trying to dispose of it in their own backyard, that it's not going to seep everywhere else. That it's not going to go 1,000 or 2,000 miles south of where they're doing it at. They expect, oh, it'll be just this particular land, and considering it's the land that we own and nobody comes here, we might as well keep doing it. Because it's not going to hurt anybody else. It's not going to hurt anybody else's land. It's just going to affect our land. And when we're done, when we start making money, we can have an environmental cleanup. We can find a solution. We can temporarily close this site. We can do whatever we need to in order to make it out of COVID-19 safely, with benefits, with taking care of the people that we need to take care of. But they don't realize that it's actually seeping into the ground, that it's going to run off and it's going to go over 1,000+ miles south. Just because you dump the toxic chemicals or sludge into your backyard doesn't mean that it's not there. Doesn't mean that it's not going to seep all in the ground. Doesn't mean that it's not going to seep into your water. How many of you are willing to sacrifice your water, your health, your land, your homes, your property, everything that you care about, and thousands of other people just for a temporary shortcut? Instead of finding a temporary shortcut, find a permanent solution. Look for a solution that, yes, you're going to have to properly dispose of the toxins, the sludge, but in the long term, you're still going to save people's lives. You're going to prevent the ground from becoming a toxic sludge factory. You're going to prevent animals from dying. You're going to do so much more by being careful now. So please, don't take shortcuts when it comes to people's health, when it comes to your health, when it comes to the land, when it comes to animals, when it comes to your main source of living and being alive, water. My name is Joel, and thanks for watching.